software.
And are we missing Jack?
Hey, that was me.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I have too many.
I can go.
Yeah.
Glenda. Hi, I'm Glenda Helmer, and I'm a manager of a user experience team at Nokia.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Judges, you have your evaluation forms. Everything's good to go. Okay, so I will give a list of the first group to present and the group that will come after so that they can prepare. Each group has 3 minutes to present and about 5 minutes for Q&A. Let me just confirm that is correct. I am going to give hard stops and I will use my phone wherever it went to give you a cue on the camera of what the timer is at. So keep an eye on that. And at 3 minutes, I will have to interrupt groups. Questions can go up to 5 minutes with the judges as well. If we have the clients in here as well, that they can obviously ask questions that can help the judges make more informed evaluations. So I'll give the list of the first 3 groups just so that they can mentally prepare. So we're starting with the stadium experience groups first, and then there's the 4 open groups. So we have G2, G8, G4, and G9. So that's the order. So G2 is the first group to present. They have a name. They are the dashboards. I will ensure that screen sharing is enabled. It should be. If you run into any issues, please let me know, but you can go ahead and share your screen. I might have to use my watch for a timer, but that's okay.
Okay, do we start?
Yeah, I will. Let me just get this timer here, but I will start the timer as soon as you you begin your speech. Yeah.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name's Noor, and I'm going to be presenting on behalf of the dashboards. To give you some background on our project, the TD Stadium is finally opening back up with in-person sports events and is looking to engage fans using their visual display at Ottawa 67 Scoreboard Show. Ross Video and OSEG have partnered to create a design challenge which allows our group to design a panel on dashboard that will link to expression and the equipment in the TD Stadium. Every sports game will have an operator that is in charge of controlling the scoreboard show. The operator's job is extremely hectic and they need to be able to navigate through the panel and make changes quickly. So we have to ensure that the panel is easy to use and organized. Another requirement was to build a number of subsystems, and we decided to build them based off how important they are to the fan experience. The first subsystem that we chose was the team setup subsystem, which shows the logos of each team along with their team colors. Next up was the sponsor book subsystem, which will display the logo of each sponsor during a power play or a penalty kill. Then we have our 3 stars subsystem, which will present the names of the top 3 players of the game as the PA announces them, while the crowd prompt subsystem will display make noise prompts that will enhance fan engagement. Keeping this in mind, we formed the problem statement that guided us through the decision-making process of the project. A need exists for a simple and straightforward control panel for Ottawa 67 Scoreboard Show that will engage the fans using stimulating crowd prompts, interesting graphics, and a thrilling 3 stars ranking system. After comparing similar competitors in the entertainment and video sector, it was evident that Ross Video's dashboard was optimal for our project because it is beginner-friendly and offers better tutorial videos when compared to Everett's or Foray, while maintaining similar specs. To guarantee that the control panel is organized and easy to use, we decided to be consistent throughout the panel by using similar features such as tables, file, and color pickers throughout the subsystems so that the operator will have an intuitive understanding of how the panel works. In addition to that, we added an error preventive measure, which is a display section that will allow the operator to double check any chosen function. I'm going to give you guys a quick demo of our product actually working. So I'm going to just share my screen real quick, and here we go.
30 seconds.
Okay, so we organized our subsystems using tabs. We have two color pickers. Okay, here's the tabs working. We have two pickers that will show the logos on the display. So you can see it here. We have 4 color pickers in which they can choose the graphic colors. Our on and off are connected to Expression. So we have a testing video that will show our product actually working when linked to Expression, which is also linked to the visual display. You can edit
That's
the
time.
player names. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, group
Yeah.
2. I will hand it over to judges for questions and clients as well for questions and comments.
So what sort of training are you expecting the operators to have to operate your system?
Well, we actually have, like, it's just like navigating through, and like they just need to be quick, and like they need to understand the panel as they go on. We have a help section. Actually, I didn't get to show you due to the time, but like when they press the help section, a pop-up displays and it explains the panel quickly, and then like it's pretty simple and straightforward. So like I guess they just need to be like get under
If I can
pressure.
jump in, we also have a user manual, which we'll be sending to the operator, which will make their job a lot easier.
I have a couple of questions on how you manage the project. So there were 4 people contributing to this, as I understand.
Yes.
How did you form the team? How did you allocate the the different roles in the team? Who did what?
Okay, so like organization and design was basically given to Ian because like he has like the best organization skills like throughout the entire team. I was responsible for the coding, like linking all the buttons together. Gordon was responsible for linking the dashboard to Expression because some of us aren't in Ottawa, and like he was the best at like doing that job. And Bilal was good at just like testing out our panel.
Okay.
On your problem analysis, who did you identify as your target audience?
Our target audience for so the control panel is actually just like aimed at like, I don't know, pointed towards the operator. He's our target audience because he's the one who's gonna have to control our control panel, and like it's like we have to build it based on how he's gonna do it. So since he's gonna be under stress and like he has to change stuff quickly, we have to make it super organized and like straightforward and simple. And like we were consistent throughout the entire panel, so there wasn't too much confusion. Yeah.
Okay, just a quick follow-up on that. Did you have an opportunity to interview any of or get information from any of the current operators?
Sadly, no. So during the client meeting, he wasn't there, so we weren't able to, but we were able to like ask some questions, and then he got back to us later on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Looking at your competitors, did you do any analysis of what their user interface actually looks like? Or was it more just their features?
Mostly the features. Like we went on their platform and we checked out like how user-friendly it was, and we used their community Q&A, and like we just like got some reviews and like just looked at pictures and stuff.
Okay.
When you designed the initial system, this dashboard, the dashboard software from Ross Video, that's an open source platform. Does it have a simulator, and how did you go about, doing your development, design, verification, etc.?
Yeah, it's an open and free platform, basically. Like, so dashboard opens up and it's like a blank spot, and then you're able to add widgets and add buttons. And after doing all that, we have our Expression, which is a production software which connects to the visual display in the stadiums. So after connecting all of these together, we were able to like test them out. So as when you press the on and off button on dashboard, it links to the expression, which is linked to the visual display. So the on would turn on the team setup subsystem, for example, onto the screen and remove it if not needed.
Did you get to test your prototype on a real screen?
Yes, yes. Like there was like some videos, but like due to the time constraint, I wasn't able to show you guys.
Okay.
Sadly.
Did you have any issues in your test?
We did have a few issues because like the software was kind of difficult to navigate as like beginners. We had no idea how the software works. So it took like about 2 weeks to actually figure it out. And like we didn't have access for expression for some bit. So like we had to go to the lab every single day and like just work on it with like some help with our TAs and PMs, of course.
But how confident of how accurate that panel will be?
Sorry, can you repeat that question? You
How-
cut out for a sec.
How confident will you be about how accurate that panel will be? Will it add up correctly? Do you foresee any issues, any bugs you need to look at, or is this?
We didn't see any bugs specifically, but it could like we could have like future developments. Like for example, our 3 stars, like we have a text entry where the operator can put in the name, which kind of isn't like that convenient. So if we had more time, we would have been able to upload a file in which it would read them and the operator would be able to select the name. So like the bugs, like it works completely fine. It's just it could have been like just developed better if we had more time.
That's it for time for questions. Thank you, group 2. Next group to present is group 8, and group 4 will be next. So group 8, feel free to share your screen and I will start your timer as soon as you begin speaking.
All right, hello everybody. We are the Dashboard 67s and we are going to demonstrate to you our dashboard we made for Ross Video. So Ross Video wanted us to make the dashboard dynamically controllable and of course as user-friendly as possible while enhancing fan experience, which includes like player information, team stats, crowd prompts, and fan birthdays. So before I show you our dashboard, I am going to give you a quick demonstration that our dashboard does work. This is our dashboard sending information to Expression and then of course to the big screen.
Right here we have our display from Expression of what our dashboard is sending to Expression. If you go down to our actual dashboard and change the team and then press the update button, it updates the names on and the points on the actual display.
Okay, great. So that is our video. And can I just have someone let me know that you can see my dashboard still?
Yeah,
We can see it. Yep.
Great. So here we are. We're on the home screen here. These are all the home teams. The way we have it work is you click the buttons up here, changes the page you're on. So these are all the things that we have made. Here's our home team. So we have the Ottawa 67s at this current moment. We have the colors. The colors are changed, user changed. So you just change them here like this. For this case, we're just going to keep going with the red for the Ottawa 67s. If we want to change teams, you simply click on it, click the update button, and you can see here that our team has changed. We have the update button in place just in case any errors or changes are made. As you can see here, we can make a change, click update, and then it has changed in our books. We go to team stats here. You simply click the drop-down menu here, click the team standings button, and you see we have changed. We go here, team standings, and it has changed. If you go to our sponsors, this simply pulls an image that you have on the computer, sends it to Expression, which gets sent to the big screen. We don't have the image display on our dashboard as it's a little redundant to have the image play on this screen, Expression screen, and the large screen. Our goalie matchup in 3 stars run with this similar idea that we have our home and away teams set, and the 3 stars, you simply click refresh teams, click the players you want, or you can type as well. So if we go here and perfect there, if you change the home and away team, that changes as well. Same thing with the goalie matchup. You click get goalies, and then you can pick the 2 goalies from the team. You can see here, if we change the home team, go back to goalie matchup, click get goalies, the goalies name do change. Next, we have crowd
20
prompts, which
seconds.
is simply just button that you click and it sends that statement to the large screen. For fan birthdays, we have the start birthday timer, which reads the CSV you put in here, whichever you browse on your computer. This runs for 12 seconds. We have it set reading the CSV, but you can change that time. The stop birthday timer stops the reading and stops the timer. So that is mostly all of our
That's
main
time.
functions. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Group 8. We've handed over to judges and clients for questions. 5 minutes. Take it away.
I'll jump in. Can you describe the role of each team member?
Yes, totally. So there are 5 of us. The way we did the work at the beginning is we split up certain functions. So as you can see, we had the buttons at the top. Each group member had 1 or 2 buttons of their own to complete. I can't remember exactly which teammate did exactly which button, but for example, I did the birthday buttons. I know Sam, who is here, did quite a bit. He did a couple buttons as well. And that's the way we split it up in the beginning. And then closer to the end, it became, we more just kind of grouped around a computer and helped edit and get things done. Sam here did do a lot of the coding for us. And we had Daniel who did a lot of the statistics, and Owen, we had do a lot of the looks. He made it look very, very nice. And same thing with Mark as well.
Okay. What did you learn from this exercise?
Well, for me, it is a bit of a learning curve for my coding skills. While I do know a little bit of code, it wasn't fully practiced. So this certainly helped. And it was a lot with group work. It's a large group and a huge project. I mean, it's been a couple months we've been working on it. So it was nice to get some group work practice in.
How did you see that panel evolve?
Like, how did we see our panel evolve?
From this point onwards, how would you see it in the future? What sort of improvements would you make to it?
To our dashboard, improvements we would make is make it a little bit more user friendly. So I know our stats, our words are a little small, make it larger, or maybe hide some of the stats a little bit just to make it look a little cleaner and not totally as busy. Not that it is busy, but just clean it up a little bit and make it a little more user friendly. We do have the tabs at the top that we thought about removing, but so we have the buttons and then the tabs below it. We thought about removing the tabs, but we did end up leaving them in because they act as like a little visual marker that is the tab or button you are on, but it would be working around that as well.
So similar question to the previous group. What kind of input did you get from an actual operator?
So we did do client meets with Ross Video. Our first client meet we did when we had, because we had that update button that you have to click in order to send any information or change any information. That was feedback we got from them that they quite liked it, which is why, of course, we kept it and made sure it worked very well for our final prototype. So it was just client meetings we did with Ross Video, and they just gave us tips here and there, such as the update button and the way we had our buttons styled at the top of the screen to kind of clean it up and make it more visually appealing.
And second question, it looks like there's a number of files that need to be ready to go for uploading into the system. Is that correct? And how much work would it be for someone to be doing ahead of each game in order to have the information ready to go?
I can take that one.
Oh, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
So for that, we're actually using JSON files, and those JSON files are actually provided by a company that actually its job is to update team hockey stats. So it's no work on the user whatsoever. Just make sure that the JSON file is for the correct season, and then it just all good. It just presses and then just pulls up all the stats from it. So they don't need to worry about any files. They don't need any files on a computer except for a dashboard file.
Yeah,
Would that
so
file
if
need to be
you-
updated through the season?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll just be one number. We can do future developments of actually having a tab where just the seasons, because the JSON files would have a logical flow of numbers. So we can do updates so that they just need add a number in this set, like a new set tab for it to change for each season.
Time for one more question if there is one. Okay, thank you, group 8.
Thank you.
Our next group is group 4, Dashboard Delta, and the following groups will be group 9, then group 12. So just give me a second to set up that timer and you'll be good to go as soon as you start speaking.
I just want to make sure that you can see my PowerPoint.
Yep, we can.
Okay.
Yep,
Perfect.
good to go.
And the timer is ready?
Yeah, sorry, you can, I'll start as soon as you begin. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Forrest, and I'm a member of the Dashboard Deltas from GNG 1103. Throughout the semester, my team and I have designed an Ottawa 67's game day panel using Ross Video's software dashboard. We worked with Ross Video and OSEG to design a functional panel that allows users to quickly and easily alter the desired data and to increase fan excitement. We defined a problem statement that reads, the operator at the TD Place Arena needs a way to quickly and easily control the output of the scoreboard show to enhance the fan experience at the Ottawa 67's games.
So I'll give a quick demonstration of our panel. As you can see, we have organized tabs on the left that the operator can quickly change between. And we thought it was really important to include a network setup tab where the operator can input their expression IP address to gain full functionality of the panel. When they change their IP address, they get this verification prompt that asks them to verify if the IP address is correct, and this just reduces any errors in the future. We also included a help button that gives the operator instructions and wishes them luck before the game. The goalie matchup tab is very straightforward. The operator can type in the goalie's name, goals against average, and save percentage for both the home and away teams. For standings and statistics, we have 2 CSV files, one for Western and one for Eastern Conference standings. When you press the buttons, the information from each of the files is displayed in the tables. This is the same concept for point leaders. To get the file, you click Browse, find the file, click the button, and the information is displayed in the table. For fan birthdays, you can add a new birthday, including the fan name, message, and age. You can also delete birthdays depending on how many there are per game. The 3 stars is also straightforward. The operator just types in the players' names. And for sponsor bugs, we have 3 buttons that correspond to 3 take IDs. And when each button is clicked, the corresponding graphic will show up on the scoreboard. I will go back to the PowerPoint. Oops. So we need a way to test our panel using the graphic software Expression. On Expression, we have 3 graphics here, and they're connected to take IDs, which you can see in the gray box. And each button on dashboard is connected to the graphics on Expression. And in this video, I demonstrate clicking the button and the display that you will see on the top screen. And so that's the end of our presentation there. I know it was a little bit quick, so if you want me to go over anything, I don't mind. And if you have questions, we're open to those as well.
Okay, thank you very much. And you stole my words. I'll hand it over to judges. Go ahead.
So I'll go first. What input did you get from stadium operators and/or Ross?
So during our first client meeting, we actually misunderstood the concept of this project. We thought we were creating what the output would look like, but we were actually supposed to create the actual panel itself. So we received feedback from them during our first client meet, and they put us on the right track, and then we got to work with our prototypes. Also for our second prototype, we had 12 different sponsor buttons. But then we received information from Colin, who is the operator, and he said that there are actually only 3 sponsors. So then we reduced those 12 buttons to 3 and just made it more easy to follow.
What was the most challenging part of the project?
So Dashboard is not a very collaborative platform. So I had the panel saved on my laptop, and in order to do group work with my teammates, we had to meet on campus in person to work directly on my laptop. So that was one of the challenges that we faced. Another one was we originally used a different file for our panel, and I wasn't able to send the code to my group. They weren't able to open anything. So we ended up having to start over on a different file that was a little bit easier to send.
Okay. And there were what, 4 people in your group? What did each people do?
So we actually had 5 team members,
5.
including myself, and we were each responsible for one of the tabs. So we had 7 different tabs. I did the network setup and the sponsor bugs. My teammate Leo did the goalie matchup. Forrest and Kareem did the fan birthdays, and Amelia was responsible for the standings and statistics. And we also worked as a group to keep organized and to make sure that everybody knew what they were responsible for and by when it was due.
Your tabs seem to be quite well designed as a package. So if you've all worked on the tabs individually, they all seem to be a similar design. Was there a conscious design decision at the beginning?
Yeah.
How you were going to run this?
Yeah, so we wanted to have all of the labels that weren't, they didn't have any functionality. So like penalty kill, power play, they were all the same font, the same color. They all had a white border around them. And then for the buttons, we made them bright green. So that was, with the Ottawa 67s, they're obviously red, and we made the away team blue because they're contrasting colors. And then we made the buttons bright green so that the operator was able to notice them really quickly. And they also had a white border around them to indicate that they were functional buttons.
Just a question from a UX design perspective. So I noticed that like the network settings or IP tab was the very first tab. In reality, would they be changing that? Sorry, my dog. Would they be changing that every time, or would that be a one-time setup, given that stadiums don't change?
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, for this project specifically, they would input their expression IP address. For this, we used localhost because that was the one that was used on campus. And so when they type that into the box, it actually changes the coding behind the scenes. So they don't have to go in there and do it themselves, because that would be a little bit more challenging. That would mean that the operator is expected to know a certain level of coding, which maybe they don't. Okay. So if this panel was used in real situations, it would be good to have that aspect so that if it was used at different stadiums, then that would be a very easy aspect that they can type in their IP address.
Okay, gotcha. And then I was wondering as well about the star standings. So would that information actually, or those names actually be populated from the CSV files that are uploaded rather than a free-form input?
Yeah, so we weren't actually able to get the full functionality of having those files then be displayed on Expression. We were able to get some of the more simple buttons to do that, but the files are a little bit more complicated. And like another group said, they used JSON files, and maybe that would be a better approach instead of CSV files. And then for the 3 stars, where it's just a text input, that text does change the names on Expression, so on the graphic there.
That's time for questions. Thank you very much, group 4.
Thank you.
Our next group is group 9, and then group 12 will be the last group for the stadium experience. Group 9, you can go ahead, and I will start the timer as soon as you begin speaking. So
all right.
So I'm Riley. I'm going to be presenting for Group 9, the Gene Geniuses. Our group members are myself, Nick, Emily, and Tyler. So the client is Ross Video. They're a company that does stuff for live events like cameras and all the technology that goes with displaying information to live feeds during sporting events and that. So our problem statement is that we needed a dashboard panel interface that's fast and simple to set up, flexible in what information, prompts, and stats it can display during a game, and enhance the overall fan experience. So I'll give you a demonstration of our panel here. Okay, so we kind of took the Honda Civic approach to our panel where we wanted it to be simple, but easy to use and just reliable. So we have 4 subsystems. The first one is crowd prompts, where there's the buttons there that you can display different things that will be displayed. Next, we have standings, where you can read CSV files to display the standings. And so we have the Western Conference standings, Eastern Conference, goalie stats, and player stats. And it's differentiated by red and white, just so it's a bit easier to read. Next, we have the sponsor bugs. So you can see you can upload the file locations from your computer, and the photo will display into the button, and then when you click that button, it'll display just so that it's in the button, just so it's easier for the user to see and get a preview of kind of what they're going to be displaying before they click it. And then up top, there's the hide, so that'll stop displaying them. And finally, we have the fan birthdays. So you can upload photos, enter your name. So Riley, it's my first birthday today, I guess. And that can display. I'm 3 now. And then you can change up top. There's a timer to set the duration for how long each birthday will display for. And I think also under the birthday buttons tab, there should be, there's buttons that you can just stop displaying them in case you want to just override the timer. So next, I'll give you a quick demonstration of our expression output.
40 seconds.
All right, so we got we have a dashboard panel here, and we have expression open up there too, so it's blank screen. So this is just proof of concept. So the make some noise button here is just going to trigger one of the 2 expressions we actually have here. And yeah, so that can be obviously changed. The number of the take can be changed to a different number so that we actually produce a different image on screen, something that we actually want to be displayed from that make some noise button. Thank you. All right.
Okay, that's time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll hand it over to judges.
Can you describe to me how you came up with the user interface design from concept to where you ended up?
Yeah, sure. So first, we started with just kind of drawing on paper what the interfaces would look like, and then so all of our group members, there were 4 of us, we all had a concept for what each thing should look like, and then we discussed all of our ideas and kind of picked the best ones. And then we had it so that each of the 4 members would take responsibility for a subsystem and do that. And as we went through them, like even from the drawing that we'd originally picked, like it would still evolve a little bit from that, but we had those drawings to kind of guide us through the process.
And did you test that user interface with anybody before you implemented it?
Yeah, so what we did is that we would once we had our first prototype for the subsystems, we uploaded the files onto a Google Drive folder, and then we all on a group call would use all of each other's files and just see if we had any problems with them. And even with just no instructions, we were able to figure out how to use it. So we proves that it's pretty simple to use. So.
Okay.
What would be the next improvement you would do to that panel?
Originally we wanted to also incorporate a goalie matchup system. We originally had 5 members in our group, but one of them I think they dropped the course or something. So we did want to incorporate that. So if we were going to improve something, that's one subsystem that we wanted to improve. Another thing is that we'd probably try and just make some of the buttons like a little bigger or a little easier to see, just to make it easier for the operator to use during the game.
What sort of input did you get from the stadium operator or from Ross Video?
Originally, they said that our panel was like a little bit cluttered, just in the way we had some kind of redundant buttons. Like I remember on mine, I had a button to display. I did the sponsor bugs, and I had a button to display and another thing to take down for each thing, which was it was too complicated. So I was able to just simplify that into having a button that would hide all of them at once. So just things like that. They said to just get rid of redundant features and just streamline the process.
What was the biggest technical challenge you faced during the project?
Probably just becoming familiar with Dashboard and the intricacies of using it. It's based on JavaScript, and I have like some coding experience, not a ton, but even at that, it was still like pretty new, just because that's a part, the script is a part of it, but it's so much just interface heavy. So just learning that and getting familiar with how to create the variables in it and link buttons to input boxes and stuff like that. But once we got that, it went along pretty well.
What sort of training do you think people would need to operate this?
Well, we're making a user guide that will be we would send with this to the customer, and I think just with that, it should be pretty simple to get anyone familiar with this in just a few minutes. Like it's pretty simple to use. So.
Okay, we have time for one more question if there is one. Otherwise, we can move on to the next group. Okay, thank you very much, Group 9.
Thank you.
Our last group of the stadium experience is, I'm pretty sure that is, yeah. Group 12. Okay, so Group 12, there we go. Timer is ready and you can begin. I'll start the timer when you begin.
Good morning, or afternoon, sorry. My name is Hannah Curry and I'll be presenting our product on behalf of Group 12. Upon our first meeting with Ross Video, they made it very clear that they wanted a new way to engage fans, something that has not been seen before. They'd also expressed the need for an automatic team setup system, as their current system was manual. Ross Video presented us with a need for a more mission-critical panel. They want a product that is not ambiguous and mistake-proof. The operator can pull things up quick and navigate easily. The stress for an operator during a hockey game is high, and we want to eliminate that stress as much as possible. For this project, we chose to take a risk. We wanted to develop a system that maximizes fan engagement throughout the whole game. We wanted to increase the engagement of people present who are possibly not knowledgeable with hockey. We decided to create a solution for two of their express needs. The first one being fan engagement and the second one being team setup. For fan engagement, we have developed something that we believe has not been seen before, a fan voting platform. This system allows fans to vote on what team they believe will win and having these results imported onto a dashboard panel for display. We created a website with a corresponding QR code. We encourage you guys to pull out your phones and scan the QR code with your camera. This will take you to our website. I'll give you time at the end of the presentation if you want. This data can be obtained and exported where we developed a code to count the votes and import it into our panel. This has been coded to read our CSV file and display these results. We believe this system will solve the disengagement with fans, as they will vote in the beginning of the game and want to stay engaged throughout the game, as will include all fans, even the less knowledgeable ones. For team setup, Ross Video expressed their need for an automatic setup system. For this reason, we developed a dashboard panel that allows you to import a CSV file from the internet, with team information as well as change logos and team colors quicker than ever before. Our panel has all the qualities Ross Video needs. Our panel is unambiguous. The operator can choose needed buttons easily due to established color contrast. Everything is sized optimally and easy to navigate. Our panels have an emphasis on user control and display. Thank you everyone for your time to listen to our solutions for Ross Video, and we thoroughly enjoyed working on this project.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you throw up the QR code? You're under time. You throw up the QR codes for people who are running timers. I didn't get a chance to scan it. 1 second.
Yeah, so just go onto your camera and you'll be able to scan it and it'll give you a link to come up to our website.
And from there, you can vote. We'll have the data for us, but yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I will, I'll hand that over to judges for questions.
Mhm.
Yeah, nice touch with engaging not only the fans, but the judges and everybody else too there. So like that idea, and you incorporated it into the dashboard, which is a nice idea. Can you talk a little bit about how you came up with the dashboard design and how much testing you did of it and how much user feedback you got?
Yes, absolutely. So our panel, we really wanted to make it very clear because we had a very complicated idea, and expecting an operator to run an idea so complicated is very far-fetched. So we wanted something with clear color contrast, something very clear to be able to like press what you need and get it up, especially the voting results. So for our user feedback, we actually chose to test with 3 demographics. We had a hockey fan, a non-hockey fan, and then we had a hockey player. So for a hockey fan, we wanted someone that felt like they could still be engaged and they were able to vote. And from our test, the feedback we received, their idea, they were very excited about it. They were able to like feel more involved. For the non-hockey fan, we wanted a system that, despite not being very knowledgeable, they are able to partake. And we thought that overall, we knew that Ross Video was getting their engagement from the people who enjoy hockey, but maybe increasing the engagement from people who are not as knowledgeable. And our feedback was very pleasant with that one as well. And then in terms of hockey players, a concern for us was that this is going to mess with their confidence and their abilities during the hockey game. So we did test somebody from the junior A's, Brentford Timberwolves, Brendan Hill, and he told us that he thinks it's great, that he thinks that not only will hockey players be comfortable with that, but may even light that fire under them to play and deliver a better game. So yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Were you able to do any testing with the operator?
Yes, so well, we had our client meetings in which we did receive a lot of feedback in terms of we're shooting for the stars and we needed to make sure that if we go through with this product that we can, and that we can somehow input it into the panel and make sure it's completely configurable. We were told that if we can get it configurable, it has to be easy to work. So that's why we wanted to make sure if we can get it into a panel, it has to be as easy as a CSV file reader. So that was in the backwards of when we were downloading the information from the website, we needed to be in as less steps as possible and to be inputted by CSV reader as easy as possible. And they did also tell us to make sure at first we were very graphic oriented and they wanted us to take it back, focus on the coding and focus on our delivery, not the aesthetic as much.
So with that, do you feel like you missed anything in the graphics design?
I definitely think spending more time on it is always like a benefit. And it could have only improved our panel, but in terms of making sure that we got what we needed done in the best way we could, I think that we did really well with what graphics we did have. It was very aesthetically pleasing and easy to use, which was our goals.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for the questions. I believe that is the last of, where did my screen go? That's the last of the Stadium Experience presentation. So thank you for all of the groups that presented.